We're going to talk ODK now. We're going to talk a little bit about, from what I could tell, happened in this game, which from the very start, I think we could tell the Bears were a little outclassed in, let's call it just the play calling, okay, overall, on both sides of the ball, it seemed like. So this is the Bears' second play of the game, and this is just a run to the right, guys, okay, outside zone. Now, let's look at the formation. They're in 12 personnel with Cole Kmet nubbed out there, which means there's no wide receiver to that side, which why that matters is because you have to block this corner, okay? And typically, your tight end is going to work on this end first and then climb to the backer, okay? So Bears put receiver in motion to take care of the corner. That all makes sense. It should be blocked up from this standpoint to run to the right. What the 49ers do here, though, that's super interesting to me watching this, is these two guys just switch spots. So the corner now went to the inside while the backer climbed to the outside. And I'm pretty sure that this is why the Bears end up with someone unblocked here to stop this run. Because essentially, if Cole's job is to get out to this backer, and this corner just went back to the inside, as Colin Johnson's coming around here to the outside, first he's bluffing a wheel route to begin with, and then he's going to block. Well, he can't get all the way now to this corner on the inside. Does that all make sense?
Yep.
So that little switch between these two 49ers here, I think, is what causes the confusion on this play. And now, instead, you got Colin Johnson blocking this linebacker, which was supposed to be the corner, and the corner is going in to tackle DeAndre Swift here. Now, could theoretically Cole Kmet make a instinctual decision to be like, oh, they switched, I need to go block this guy? Yeah, it's easy to say that on film, but if that's not what their rules are, and if that's not something they saw on tape all week, that's hard to do in a split second. So credit to the 49ers defense, because it seems like, to me, this is almost like they knew what was coming, and they're like, we're just going to switch these two players and cause the confusion and make the stop, which they do. Bears got two guys down here on the linebacker. Tackle is being made on DeAndre Swift. So that's the offensive side, an example early on in this game where it's second down. Do you think you're going to – Thomas Brown's trying to run the ball, establish the run early. I like that, but this little switcheroo the 49ers pull stops that, drive ends, and, the offense, they don't get the ball back for like another 10 minutes, it seemed like.
So would you call that execution, or would you call that coaching?
I wouldn't even call it bad coaching or bad execution. I would call it the other team beat you. The other team outclassed you and came up with a solution, which is people sometimes forget in football.
They get paid too?
One team's going to be successful on every play and the other's not. Right. And there's an answer on every single play for this. But why I'm showing this is early on in the game, and this type of stuff continued throughout the game. Let's go to the defensive side now, okay? Now, this is where I think there was a combination of players not executing and also Kyle Shanahan outclassing Eric Washington. So the first thing I see here in this situation is that the 49ers are in 21 personnel with Kyle Juszczyk out there. Okay, he's to the bottom of the screen here, which means you only have two wide receivers, right? One's here, one's here.
Two tight ends, two wide receivers, one back for those who don't understand 21.
Two running backs, one tight end, two wide receivers.
Two running backs.
Yes, because you have a running back here,
and
okay. Kyle Juszczyk.
I see. My bad.
It doesn't really matter. Juszczyk is versatile enough, but regardless,
either way,
the point is there's two wide receivers, which means you don't need to be in nickel. But the Bears are in nickel, so this is a situation where you could go to base defense. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that it's the worst thing that they're not, but if you're trying to draw up this play, which turns out to be a screen to George Kittle, this is what you would call made to order, because the Bears are in, not only are they in their nickel defense, but there's one wide receiver out here, and there are three Bears over here on one wide receiver. Okay, So do you think one of these guys is blitzing? That's a pretty good tell that you probably are bringing some pressure from out here. And regardless, the 49ers have the answer anyway. So indeed, Kyler Gordon comes. And shout out to Isaac Guerrero, who's a rookie, and sometimes rookies would not figure this out fast enough, but he bails on the play action, which he's supposed to go, and he just immediately goes to block the blitzer. And Bears fans that have paid attention the last couple of years know that the Bears haven't always been the team that has been smart enough to do that. And
Caleb would be dead.
Justin Fields or Caleb Williams would just be getting sacked on what could be a wide open screen. So the back makes the block. Good for him. And meanwhile, because the Bears had, in my opinion, not the greatest personnel on the field and too many guys to the top of the screen, well, this thing is set up perfectly for the ball to be dumped off to George Kittle. And oh my God, it's a 2-on-1 on the one guy who can pretty much make the play here. And it's a race between this backer and if Tyreek Stevenson, who is being run off by the wide receiver here, he's got to wake up, turn around. Oh no, Jonathan Owens, he has to turn around. I mean, this thing was just made to order, and of course goes all the way down the field. Here's George Kittle slowing down. There was a possible block in the back they could have called here. I think it was a legal hit by. Regardless, I think this was an example. This specific play was an example of the other team had a better call than you did. The play right before that, where I think it was Juszczyk who came across the formation and none of the linebackers went with him, that I would put on the execution. But the problem was it was like every single play in the first quarter, it was one or the other. And before you knew it, the game was over.
That was the first drive.
That's right. Both of these plays are super early in the game.
And before you knew it, the game was over.
That was the first drive of that play?
Yeah.
Wow. Forgot about that. Okay. I mean, I know that they had 3 plays right to the end zone. What's going on, Steven? Nothing? Okay, we're good?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. That's it.
It's a great job. Listen, HOGE'S ODK.
You don't get any kicking this week.
Yeah. The ODK stands for offense, defense, and kicking. For those of you who don't know that, I had to learn that on the show a couple of weeks ago, and now I'm showing that I've digested that information and giving it back to you.
I thought ODK stood for Old Dirty Cram.
Another great joke by Greg Braggs, ladies and gentlemen.
We all silly like the mayor.